John Cena's response to the Vince McMahon allegations.
Oh my god!
You gonna
read
read it?
Company man Cena to me. You know what I mean?
Handle. This is a tough one. I know you love the WWE and you love Vince and everything, but now Vince has gotten himself into hot water. What the fuck? Like, I have a couple of friends who have gotten into hot water, let's call it. It's not like they've been on trial, but there's been accusations that are disturbing. You know, I loved you. I love complicated to even talk about.
A big advocate of love and friendship and honesty and communication. But in the same breath, I'm also a big advocate of accountability.
All right. So what did we think of John Cena's response? There's the quotes of his response and there's his actual response. Do we feel any different from like hearing the actual quote of what he said? And I don't know if you guys have heard the entirety
the entire thing. Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, I read it.
Mm-hmm.
And he basically is saying like, yo, we need to help them get better. If they're our friends, we should be there for them at their lowest moment and help them rebuild. I'm like, yeah, that's if your friend is doing some shit like, let's say,
cocaine.
Yeah, exactly. They have an addiction. They're addicted to drugs, or they're an alcoholic or something like that. And you want to help them get out of that. You want to check them into rehab. This isn't like it's self-harm, self-destruction, whatever you want to call it.
Your friend is a sexual deviant.
Exactly. Your friend is a
predator.
Sexual deviant, bro. He's taking away people's innocence and taking away like their choices for things like that. And then thinking you're so high and mighty that like, I don't gotta pay her off. Like, I don't gotta do any of this. Like, who's gonna come after me? When you beat the United States government, you get a little cocky. That's all I'm saying. But you coming back and saying like, hey, that's my guy. I gotta be there for him when he's in his lowest moment. Any other situation besides this, admirable as hell. To stick by your friend in their lowest moment, admirable as hell. But this isn't one of those situations. This isn't like, oh, he got a DUI, or like we were talking about drug addiction, like something self-harm. Yeah. This is criminal shit, bro.
Yeah. Jizzle, before you respond, because I know you want to say something, I'm gonna let you hear a little bit more of what you had to say.
Okay.
Me too.
I think you explained it well of if someone's behavior lies so far outside your value system that the balance shifts of like, man, I can't operate in a world where this works.
Yeah.
That's the end result of being accountable. But there's also
going to do though.
Right now what I'm going to do is love the person I love,
right? Be
their friend. And by that, it means like, hey, I love you. You got a hill to climb. And, there's the saying of like, hey, you don't know who you are, or you don't know who your friends are until the shit hits the fan or your back's against the wall.
Again, the hill to climb analogy is explaining it like he has a problem that we can fix or we can solve. No. This man needs to be behind bars, bro. This isn't one of those times. This isn't like, yo, you got to do better than that. And John Cena is loyal to a fault. He's loyal to a fault because he sees it like, these are the guys that put me on. This is the guy that taught me everything I know. This is a father figure. This is someone who gave me everything that I have, which is why John Cena gives WWE a kickback of his money, because they have his name trademarked. His actual birth given name. So if he's willing to do that, what do you think he's willing to do for Vince?
This nigga spent all this time playing a rapping character, nigga, didn't learn rule number 1 that everybody ain't your friend. He really thought that this nigga looked at that nigga as a friend. No, nigga, you are an asset, nigga. Like the same way that Dr. Jerry Buss looked at fucking Magic Johnson like, nigga, you still work for me. Like I don't understand. He like, well, he's my friend. Like, nigga, how is that your friend? Cause like you don't even know him. Cause this ain't somebody that you like went to school with. You know what I mean? That you grew up with. You know what I'm saying? This is a nigga that you worked for a couple of decades. You know what I mean?
Okay, so if you say this is something real quick, Ben, if you say this is somebody that you work for a couple of decades, you can't then in turn say that you don't know this person. I don't think that you could say that they're not friends. I can see the idea of like them I can see the idea of saying that he needs to look at it from a perspective of an employee-employer relationship rather than a friend in this particular juncture. You know what I'm saying? Like he needs to separate the friendship from the actual situation at hand, which I do think he does in a sense where he says that he's big on, love and being there for someone, but he's also really big on accountability. And he's also saying that at this juncture that he's going to be there for his friend, but in the event of something is so far outside of your moral grounds that you stand for, it sounds like he's saying, if convicted, or if you know what I'm saying, I ain't fucking with this nigga, but
if he gets
for right now,
proven guilty,
I'm trying to be cool. I think he's giving him that benefit of the doubt, and I feel like
either
my nigga, so I feel like let me just get this out. I feel like it's not for him to. You shouldn't say that publicly. If that's how you feel, that's not you feel me? Like Vince should understand. You feel me? Like. You know what I'm saying? If I come out and I say, hey, that shit was nasty, I don't agree with that, yada, 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 yada. But I don't think that he had to say this much to say what he was saying to say, I'm still going to rock with him innocent until proven guilty. Because that's basically what he said. And he didn't have to say all of that to say that.
He could have been like, prayers to everybody, bro. Prayers to everybody involved, man. I hope that everybody gets the peace that they deserve. Next question.
No comment is absolutely free. Like to say no comment, I don't feel like talking about that. Let's move on. Because other wrestlers were asked the same thing. Randy Orton was asked the same thing. And Randy Orton said, my heart hurts reading the situation. He's like, I'm paraphrasing, by the way. I don't have the quote in front of me.
I got the full quote.
Oh, you got a quote? Go ahead, read it.
He says, I would not be where I am today without Vince McMahon. But fuck, I'm reading this shit. What you've seen and read, I've seen and read. As far as commenting on that, it hurts my heart. It hurts my heart. It fucking hurts my heart. It hurts my heart. That's what he says. That's a better response.
You know what I'm saying? That's the best response.
I don't know if that's the best response. I think Cody probably had the best response to it. Triple H didn't say shit and still ain't said shit.
And Seth Rollins had a pretty good one too.
I don't remember exactly what Seth said, but I do think that he handled it pretty well from what I do recall of what he said. But yeah, I feel like Cena, you put your foot in your mouth, my G. Like you didn't have to do that. And I guess from what I was saying, he got an OnlyFans now.
Just like what Noel said, you know what I'm saying? Should have just said Peacemaker 2 on the way, season 2 on the way. Haha, yeah, stream my album.
Yeah, like I'm like, bro, this is why I don't understand when a lot of guys are like, yo, I looked at him as my father figure, and they had living fathers, bro. John Cena, you got a father, bro. You got
Christian Cage.
All right, let's go on to question of the week. That's the